Hey everybody, today we're going to continue working on this long neglected Kubota lawn tractor. We're going to realign the pulleys, change the belts, and take a good look at the cutting deck. In my earlier video, I brought the engine back to life after it went for over a decade without an oil change and quite honestly, probably no maintenance at all. If you enjoy these videos and want to see more like them, please check out the rest of my channel and hit the subscribe button while you're there. For some reason, the belt driving the cutting deck keeps slipping out of its pulleys when I engage the PTO. I've tried a few different belts, but they all react the same. Now, there's not very much room to see exactly what the issue might be, but it kind of looks like the idler pulley is angled down a bit, which might be enough to unseat the belt when it's engaged. The easiest way to get a better view is to unmount the cutting unit, which I planned on doing anyway. The deck is held in place by 4 fairly substantial pins, which come out without much fuss. The drive belt is held in place by front and rear guards, which are supposed to keep the belt in place. Once these components are removed, the cutting assembly simply slides out from underneath the tractor. The Kubota came to us with the understanding that it had been sitting for a while and had a few issues that needed some attention. I'm going to start by making sure the pulleys and spindle bearings are spinning freely. There's also a safety brake that prevents the blades from spinning when the PTO is not engaged. These things all check out and there doesn't appear to be any issues with the cutting deck at all. The belt is in good condition and looks to have lots of life left in it, so I'm not going to bother replacing it. I'm going to give the whole unit a good cleaning and pressure wash and sharpen the blades while I've got it off. There's really not too much to go wrong on the tractor side of things. There's only a drive belt and an idler pulley for the belt I'm having trouble with. It's still really cramped under there, so I'll take them off for closer inspection. Once the PTO pulley is pulled out of the way, I can see that the idler pulley that I'm worried about is part of a larger assembly that also holds an idler arm for the transmission drive belt. Once the belts are removed, I can feel a lot of play in both of the arms that probably shouldn't be there. The grease is really caked in there and a little bit thicker than I'd prefer, so I'm going to heat up my ultrasonic cleaner with some Dawn dish soap and soak it for a while just to get everything clean and nice so I can see what's going on a little bit better. With everything clean, it's easy to see the wear points. There's close to a full millimeter of combined material worn off of the mating parts. The worst of it seems to be on the flat mounting plate. I've got an idea of how to build them back up, and I kind of feel obligated to see if I can pull off a repair here. The parts are readily available, so I don't really have much to lose by trying. My idea is to fill in the wear points with the MIG welder, which should tighten everything up enough to bring things back into alignment. The patched area is going to be left just a little bit thicker than originally. It's easier to take some off than add more on if it's too thin. The shaft was built up in a similar way, but with not quite as much material. It's my understanding that the weld will be stronger and harder than the original metal, so I'm hopeful that this will last for a while. After a few tries, everything is nice and tight now with no play at all. The two arms look to be parallel again, as they should be. The only way to know for sure is to try it, so I'll fill the sleeve with some grease and I'll put it all back together. The idler looks to be in perfect alignment with the PTO pulley. My guess is the belt will track much better now. Takes a bit of messing around to align the cutting deck under the tractor again, but once the front pins are inserted, the other two almost fall into place. Everything is reconnected and all the controls are checking out just fine. Where possible, it's my preference to use belts from the manufacturer. They cost a little bit more, but I'm convinced the quality is better. The time and effort involved with changing these belts far outweighs their cost. The drive belt to the transmission has to go on first. It's really tight quarters and my knuckles take a bit of a beating, but eventually it settles into place. The belt driving the cutting unit goes on much easier, but it's going to need to be tightened. There's a lot of adjustment available for that particular belt, and it only takes a minute to retension it properly. That adjustment will need to be tweaked as the belt seats itself after the first few uses. And that's it. The cutting deck engages and spins up without any trouble, and it looks like my patch job is doing the trick. The grass was starting to get away from me while I was conducting all these repairs, but the mower doesn't seem to be struggling at all with the added load. If you find these videos interesting or helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel. You'll get notifications when new videos are posted, and it really helps to build my audience. Thanks for watching.